Welcome to FESIG, the free energy special interest group, where science meets spirituality in the quest for truth and knowledge to free humanity and transform this planet into a paradise.
Hi everyone. Hi, this is Crystal. Welcome to FESIG's 133rd meeting. We hold our meetings once a month. And usually we have two speakers, but because I'm in the Far East now, so I could only manage one speaker for this 3 months. But next month in March, I'll be back in London, in the UK, and we'll be swinging back to the old timing as usual. The meetings will start at 6:30 p.m. GMT, that is London time. So it's a little bit special, and we apologize to people in the US, especially our co-host, our co-chair, Fraz, who has to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning. Oh, anyway, bro, thank you so much for being consistently with me for 8 to 9 years without fail. Each and every meeting you're there, co-chairing with me. I truly appreciate you, bro. Right, and it's not so bad in Europe. In Sweden, it's like 1 p.m. No, sorry, is it 2 p.m.? Yeah, in London, it's 1 p.m. when we start our meetings in the Far East. So welcome to FESIG, which is the Free Energy Special Interest Group. We have been doing this for the last 8.5 years, and it's quite popular with scientists as well as spiritualists and those who are seeking truth and knowledge. This is where you ought to be because we have some of the most amazing speakers in the world speaking. So today, Wednesday, the 5th of February, we hold our 133rd meeting, and I am Crystal Goh, the founder of FESIG, and we have our co-chairs here, Dr. Frazel, Pontus, Henrik, and the people at the helm of FESIG are all here. Well, not all of them. I mean, most of the regulars are here. So what is FESIG? It is a platform where science meets spirituality. And we actually gathered here. We apart from having our meetings once a month, we do have research and development teams developing and building upon the free energy devices that our inventors are putting together. Well, we have to do something, don't we? So FESIG meetings offer a platform for free energy technologists to present their work and teachings, right? And we also invite spiritualists to show us the way. Well, do go to our website and read all about what we do. So if you want to email me, you just email to crystal@truevisionofpeace.com, and our website is truevisionofpeace.com/FESIG.html. And we have, out of necessity, we had to have 2 other video channels because YouTube is a bit problematic when we do controversial stuff. So do go to our BitChute channel as well. That's what you want to know, because that's where the truth is. So join us at Facebook as well to see what's going on. And do join us in the Telegram channel so you can form study groups, because we have some of the world's most brilliant minds teaching us every month and sharing their knowledge and showing us the way so we can develop what we have come here to do in our divine mission. And our Telegram channel is pretty active. We have very aware and awake people, very knowledgeable people who are keen on forming discussion groups and study groups too. Dr. Ting Ho, PhD, is the team leader, National Food Security Academy of Tropical Agricultural Sciences. He's the visiting professor of Health University, Kuala Lumpur, Putra Business School, University Pertanian Malaysia, means Agricultural University of Malaysia at Putrajaya, Malaysia. Dr. Ho is the founder of Ting Ho Aquaculture, a project targeted at showing the symbiosis relationship between plant life and animal life on the commercial scale, healing to our ecosystem. The wastes from fish and a myriad of other aquatic lives are turned into foods for plants, while plant roots feed dissolved oxygen into the water, and the oxygen-rich water breeds planktons for fish. Wow, so ingenious. There is an intimate relationship between plant and animal as exhibited in the nutrient exchange cycle. The aquaculture project is now successfully adopted by a large number of farmers. Dr. Ho is also president of SATA Foundation, SATA, an NGO in promoting clean, safe food, and the founder of two other companies in Hong Kong, Global Agro Innovation Limited, to introduce innovative agro technologies for food farming. Recently, Dr. Ho has created 3 new entities in Malaysia: Back2nature Enterprise, Going Back to Nature Sdn Bhd, and Back2nature Academy Sdn Bhd. Sdn Bhd is like private limited in the US, Hong Kong. Back2nature Enterprise is focusing on the operations of the experimental field station in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, while Going Back to Nature is focusing on ongoing research collaborations with university researchers, including those in the Agricultural University and the Technology University of Malaysia, and Health University, CUHK Hong Kong. Is that Hong Kong, Dr. Ho? Yeah, and other commercial entities. Dr. Ho has spent many years on a study mission to understand holistically the relationship between the ecosystem and human health. He has developed an extensive network with TCM and Ayurvedic practitioners in nutrition therapy, medicinal plants, herbal formulations, food therapy, organic cultivation, ethno-food cultures, nature-empowered lifestyles, nature healing power, and immune-boosting exercises. He was the first chief economist of FedEx Corporation, headquartered in Memphis, Tennessee. During his tenure, he played a crucial role in developing the FedEx global logistics networks, including Asia One networks, China and Southeast Asian market developments. Wow, Dr. Ho is so accomplished. Dr. Ho has a doctoral degree in economics from the University of Pennsylvania and a gold medalist, a research fellow of Malaysian Institute of Economic Research, associate director of Institute of Development, Sabah. Sabah is East Malaysia in North Borneo, guys. Involved in global logistics discussion forums and led UN SDG 15 goal for Star Foundation based in Hong Kong. Dr. Ho is the advisor to the Guangdong provincial government, instrumental in setting up the Southern China logistics platform for tracing and tracking the flows of cargoes in and out of China. Thank you, Dr. Ho, for being with us, for gracing our platform. We are so honored to have you here talking. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you very much for this invitation for me to share my little experience. I think, hold on, cannot hear it.
Yeah, because you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
No, you're muted, Dr. Ho. Yeah, can you unmute yourself? That's why you're not appearing.
So can you hear me now?
Yes, good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much for this invitation. I'm very honored to be meeting you in Kuala Lumpur, where Crystal was introduced to me a week and a half ago. I think little did I know that Crystal and me did share a period in Sabah when she was working there with the KPD, and when I was working with the Sabah government in Kota Kinabalu. So thank you for your introduction, and also I think I really appreciate this opportunity to share a little bit of my work and my interest and my passion. To think maybe we should do something about our ecosystem. My own working experience also led me to think that our food supply and the food that we eat is really problematic, partly because I think there are too much chemical and all this toxic thing that were found in our food. So maybe we can do something about our food supply. And now I began to make the investigation before that because I was interested in the symbiotic relationship between a plant and animal. So I created, as what Crystal has said, how this relationship between plant and animal and the ecosystem working together to foster human health. So I found a company called Back2nature Enterprise, and subsequently going back to nature enterprise just to undertake to do some experimental station. Basically, I think it must be possible to grow food and vegetable and crops without toxic substances in your input, either fertilizer, pesticides, fungicides, and all the time, not necessary for human health. Now, I have done some research. I have done some research to really understand that the quality of food supply and essential ingredient has degraded over the years. From 1950, there's a study in 1950 to maybe more recently, 2020. The content, essential ingredients of food has declined by 25%, to some extent, even 50%. And then they also found that there were not much of a certain bioactive substances found in the plant, that were being harvested, consumed in the fruits. So that a whole host of information point to the fact that maybe the way that we grow food has caused human health problems, and the ecosystem imbalance. So because of that inspiration, I went back and consulted with a lot of scientists and agronomists. See, is there another way of growing, right? Like our forefather did. That's why I formed this company called Back2nature. Maybe we should revisit how our food and food as medicine is being grown. All this investigation caused me to go back and read the sacred text. I mean, this is science mixed with spirituality, right? So I was very amazed since the early days, because my family practiced Christianity. I'm a Christian, right? So like Ezekiel, in 33:3, say this, you see, tell it to the people, say to the people, and then what he say? Say the Lord takes no pleasure in the death of the wicked. Why should you die? The people of Israel turn back from your wicked way and live, So that part, I think, number one, caused me to think maybe the way that we do, away from nature, away from things that a human integration with the ecosystem, our closeness with nature, need to be revisited. So back to nature. Of course, subsequently, as you know, there are more things in nature that we don't understand than we do, see? And then also, it caused me also to visit, reread the Bible about the dedication of the first temple by the Solomon. So after Solomon has dedicated the temple, and then he complained to God, right? He said that, look, these stiff-necked people, how would you do? I mean, if you have a covenant with these Israelite people, and if they deviated from the covenant, so you are going to inflict them with all kinds of diseases, sickness, and this. So there in the Second Chronicle 7:14, it says this: if my people who are called by my name were to humble themselves, pray to me, seek my face, and turn from the wicked way, then will I hear in heaven and forgive their sin and heal the land. So this is the thing that motivated me to relook at the soil. Right? So I have a number of people who share the same belief that I do, and we work very closely. First, start with the soil, study of the soil. So as you know, soil is the foundation of life, is rich in life. So if we look at soil, there are more living forms in the soil than there are stars, I think, galaxy in outer space. Because as you know, one small teaspoon of soil contains the whole population of human being and more. At least there are 7 billion life forms of different kind, that is found there. So also I got inspiration by looking at this. You see, we are at an age, of course, we face a lot of challenges and a lot of freedom, information, AI, and transformation, all these things. But I think we still do not really understand a very basic about life, about health, about our relationship with ecosystem, about the things surround us. So I'm very fascinated with this free energy special interest group, see? Because we are all either living or non-living are just a package of energy. So there's a lot of energy exchange. I studied Qigong for many years. There are internal Qi, and you're talking about generating Qi, the flow of Qi, and the plant has this Qi, and then we can exchange Qi with actually we clean ourselves with different natural energy, and then you talk to plant has certain energy, and plant can heal you, and they have this wave, and all those kind of. It's a fascinating world out there. So for my little ability, so I concentrated on the soil. So for the last few years, almost 10 years now, I just want to study what happened to the soil. As you know, there are a lot of work being done by geological information about soil and chemical composition of soil, pathogenesis, how the soil, how the rock material break down, how heat, wave, and all these change the soil. But the biological function of the soil has very much been neglected or not able to study in greater depth. Part of the reason is that these are invisible. See? Now, this so difficult, and there's so many, and not all the small invisible living things can be cultured in the petri dish because they have a special environment and special area that they study. So these are the things that, but I think coming back again now, at this point in our human civilization, right, we encounter a lot of challenges. Part of it is we are destroying and maybe unwittingly and causing our own demise. That is possibility. Because as you know, we are all living on this same planet, which is almost like spacecraft, coursing through the universe. And then if we continue to unscrew the things that put this spaceship together, sooner or later it's going to crash. I think we have to understand why are the things put there together? Why are trees planted? Or why is it? Is it because by accident, or is it whatever, for whatever reason? Now, should we take them all apart, or should we not respect what is going on before we destroy? Now, this UN SDG goal, I think is very serious, and we really need to pay attention because the biodiversity is declining so much now. Of course, with this, I think new US president and talking about all these weather changes not real and all this, we face another challenge, right, on the political front. But scientifically, I think we still need to pay attention. What does this biodiversity really mean? What is it going to help us, or should we wipe out everything else? That we can only have human that survive in this earth. So these are the questions that bother me. You know? So I, on my own resources and on my own initiative, try to understand some of these issues. Now, so since I told you that I concentrate on soil health, so I want to know what is the state of the soil health right now, because a lot of people think that we can get away from any kind of relationship with soil because it can cause diseases. I mean, a lot of things are not good about dirt, you know, and then come this area saying that you should live in called abiotic ecosystem where you kill off all the living things, and you should plant in an aseptic environment where there's no microbes, there's no fungus, you know, so that there's nothing will eat your leaves, and there's no living thing on your fruits. But what I found out is actually all not true, because actually we are already captured by all the invisible living things. There are more living cells which are non-human in our body than the human cells. So if that is so, then how come this invisible thing be so harmful to us? Instead, I think we are helped because of this microbial thing. Now, as you know, despite a lot of indoctrination, a lot of Western interest groups that promote industrial agriculture farming, mass production of food, the people begin to realize that maybe that is not the direction to go. Because if we want to improve our health, maybe we should look very seriously. How does this plant supply us with energy? How can we live healthily? Because you see, we are talking about free energy, right? Because we are all packaged of energy. Because we need to get from the source, energy source, and convert it to the energy that we can use so that we can perform all the function, and all the cells are being nourished with the right kind of nutrients that the cell can perform as it is deemed to perform, right? So I think the industrial scale farming has led to a lot of degradation of the ecosystem. So now question is, we have so many people populating the world right now. So is it possible to feed these people with clean, safe food so that they can have better health and they can have better nourishment and they suffer less from neurodegeneration, from dementia, from the muscle weaknesses, from all kinds of diseases? So are there superfood out there that we can have gained access to that can help us have better health? So these are the issues I like to share of my little discovery. So first, I think what makes a healthy soil food web? Because as you will know, our ecosystem is made of a different level of eating cycle. Like the Indian, the sacred book say, everything is food, you know. So it's food for who and food for what? The waste of one has become the food of another. So this is so all over in the food web, soil food web, because at the lowest level you have decomposer, you have bacteria, microfungi, they work, and then you have protozoa, you have nematodes, then you have bigger worms, you know, and then you have these beetles, mite, and then of course you kind of birds, animal, and then you have all the other things that work. So are they dirty, or are they really disease causing, or are they part of nature? Now, if they are disease causing, I think after billions of years, I think we were all dead, you know. But they have a way to balance each other. So because these living things are living in the soil, and they are cleaning out the soil, and then they feed on each other. They provide the enzyme and they provide the nutrients for each other to share. Then we have a healthy environment. If without these living things, I don't think the earth will be piled up with rubbish. So that is the one thing that I found. So the other thing about plant, so we thought that we humans are very smart. We are the one who make plant grow. We are the one who feed the plant with all the nutrients. And if the plant are not being cared for, the plant will die. But I found out not just quite the reverse. Because you look at the forest and you look at the jungle, I don't think anyone go back there and then do the fertilizing of the forestry. So if you look at it very carefully, what we can see about the plant is only less than maybe 20% above the ground. What is under the ground maybe consists 80%. So when you see a tree as dying, it's already too late. Because I mean to say, the system underground that support the life of that tree has already been damaged. Either fungal attack or poisoning or this. So that is the thing that interests me. Because there's a lot of microorganisms living in the soil, and they bond with the roots, you see, of the tree, and that is called rhizosphere, where they live near the roots and they perform a lot of function. In fact, the tree is a plant, which is correct. It's a manufacturing place, you know. So each of the tree has got specific function, right? The apple tree will produce apple, you know, and the orange tree produce oranges. So, but how did this orange and appleness and orangeness get formed? But those are the microbes that live in the ground, organic, invisible as they are. They assemble the molecule called biosynthesis. They are not the chemical synthesis, but they are biosynthesis. They actually move living enzyme, polymer, and a lot of elements and minerals, and to go to this tree. And the tree, of course, got their program, just like a factory, you know. The instruction in the factory say, okay, how do you get this together? How do you assemble this together? And then you assemble this into the apple, assemble into the orange. They look like the full orange, look like the full apple. So now imagine, okay, you start putting the chemical, the pesticide, the fungicide, killing out all the living things in the soil. And now it's like you have a terrorist entering your factory ground and shoot the bullet, you know, throughout the workers. So some worker died. So then you spray another time, another round of terrorist attack. So other batch of worker died. So after several rounds of this, what do you think the factory will do? The factory will close down. Not possible to function. So the plant the same way. I mean, you keep on getting rid of the helper. So the plant will be more sick because some of the microorganisms are actually playing the role of guards and protector, or preventing people from attacking the plant, right? So you get rid of all the policemen, get rid of all the guards. Then, of course, the criminal element comes, right? So you have all this. So this relationship between the tree, so-called energy, food-giving plant, and the microbes and the life forms in the ground, invisible, is very intimate. Because you see, without the right kind of workers, right kind of talents that work in this workplace called the plant cannot produce high quality food, high quality product. Now, this is not only for any tree. I also made an investigation on the medicinal plant. Now, as you know, a lot of medicinal plant has lost efficacy. Now, you may say ginseng, the natural grown ginseng are very small, but they are effective. But then they farm the ginseng. They put a lot of hormones in the ginseng, but the ginseng does not produce the same kind of effect. because one area I think we have neglected or pay attention to is actually you need the right talent, the right kind of living organism to produce the right kind of food. So that caused me to go back and look at the story of the hunter for ginseng, for rare herbs in China or in Japan and in Korea. You see, these people live in the mountain and they will go out with a basket, carry on their back, and they climb the mountain out and they spend the whole day, looking for the herbs in the natural environment so that they can get the best herb back. And that herb can heal diseases. That herb is effective, but not the one that you grow with the chemical in your garden. So then you see, if that is so, why don't you study the ecosystem, the micro ecosystem where these herbs are being found? So that is the energy giving. But you see, that knowledge I think is all passed on to people growing olives, to growing grapes, in different places in Europe. So this is the thing. So now what is actually going on with the plant? So you see, the microbes is all over the plant, just like ecosystem, they're all taken out. So in the plant, not only one kind of microbe, there are so much diversity, so many workers, so many talents that they provide, and the interaction between these microbial elements is mind-boggling, because you see, the interact is very rich. They have their own language, they have their own culture, their own system, their own rules, and how to interact with plant, and they make requests to the trees. They are doing this called messaging, called the message to the trees. Now, what are the things required? The tree also message to them, because the tree need to produce the food, right? To produce the parts, leaves, and all this. Then they will give an order list to the microbes. I need this, I need this. And then there are some guards, you see, down there in the roots there to control this, called mycorrhiza, or they have a nerve center down there. Then this mycorrhiza and all this will go out and do the requisition of the elements and then bring back, and then they will get paid by ATP, they're paid by in the sense of currency. So they see this is a really very rich kind of ecosystem, and there's a lot of energy exchange going on, because you pay off all in the currency, in energy currency, right? So they also respond to each other, disease control, all this. And then they know who, the plant are very sensitive. The plant has a lot of knowledge to say what kind of signal being respond back. You send out signaling, what kind of response? Because they are attacker, they are destroyer, they are helper, they play different role, right? So with all these things together, then that is the living plant. Now, I believe that this one has to be been discussed and maybe researched. I believe plants are very intelligent beings. In some cases, maybe more intelligent than human beings, in terms of knowledge, because they know. You see, they cannot walk, they cannot talk, but yet they can grow. They can do a lot of fantastic things that we ignore. So we can learn from plant, and the plant can give a lot of energy, at least, especially big trees. You are spending time in the company of big trees, you can see the tree emit energy and also healing. It can heal, and it can allow essential oil and also essence. So they also communicate. So plants communicate. From their big tree, they help actually smaller sapling, because the small sapling that belong to their family, they have no access to photosynthesis, so they cannot make as much sugar. So the big tree and help the small trees and help their descendants. And then when the tree is cut down, the smaller tree can still feed their ancestor allowed the tree stand to be alive for a long, long time. So they have emotion, I think, because a lot of people think that the tree has no emotion. I think tree can understand. Tree has emotion, tree has feelings, So now given that, so how do we now getting all this together and grow the food that we need? So now I think we have some basis of understanding as more IT and more called as this called new metagenomic, study all the kind of things happen together. So instead of cultivating this micro element in the petri dish and study them, but you can study them in situ, get the scanning, get the call this analysis of different basis elements which form the amino acid, and then do the projection, do the estimation, right? So technology innovation that we have done is the back to nature regenerative farming. So that means to say we can really, because through the experiment farm, I have experimented this, and after 4 years, I can share that you can actually plant with zero chemical, zero pesticide, using the biocontrol agent. Now, some of these biocontrol agents are insect themselves, ants, bees, wasps, and you have spider. There are a lot of spider in my farm. There's a lot of beetles on my farm. There are a lot of birds, there are a lot of wild chicken, and there are, of course, a lot of even this called alligator. This they come, they'll eat out iguana. They come visit, and people running out. There is a called balanced ecosystem. So if you have balanced ecosystem, the plant do not get sick. I will show you the picture. So then we also foster the way to restore soil health is actually making sure that you don't remove all the debris or the plant waste from the farm. You let the farm degrade, and go back, recycle, nutrient recycling, And then if you allow that to happen, and you don't allow expose the soil to sunlight, very strong sunlight, cover it, let compost use it, then your soil recover. So when the soil recover, the soil is rich in the microbial life, everything grow. So I will invite you to come and visit my farm, and you can see that things are really doing well. No? So I believe that we have the ability to restore natural fertility of soil by achieving ecological balance and also a diversity. Because I think all different plants living together is a very rich ecosystem. And then they help each other with their different metabolites, because plants have different exudates in the ground. So with that kind of a situation, you have a very rich environment where the plant has access to many ammunition, has a lot of defense mechanism, and they can alert each other. So of course, in the plant ecosystem, some are natural enemy. Plant also have natural enemy. So you have to choose the plant very carefully so that they don't just kill off one another, but they will work in cooperation, right? Now, so how to unleash the regenerative power of the soil? That is what I think we can create economic resources, and we can help overcoming poverty, and we can raise the level of productivity in the crop, and also we can eat better and have less diseases and have more immunity, all from the ground, the soil. I think it is true that every day we should eat a little bit of soil, but not directly from the ground, but through the food, to exchange, so that we have the right kind of element that come from the ground. but not from just the chemical, agriculture chemical, but actually the natural material, they either metabolites, secondary metabolites, or the enzyme that exude from the plant, and then they have a lot of interaction between this. So this is what can be done, in terms of food. We can produce in a clean and safe environment, and also there's greater awareness, global awareness, that soil health, plant health, human health, and the ecosystem health are interlocked to enable high quality of life on Earth. Because unless our ecosystem is healthy, I think it's difficult to have a high quality of life. Because if you see everywhere you encounter your environmental poison, so that is the degrading. And then this immunology, because I think one of the things that seldom talk about is in the medicinal part. I cover that one later on. So the proof of concept is done now in terms of the thing that we can do in the experimental station in Kuala Lumpur. And I'm more than happy to share over time, right? And there are a lot of technological benefit also, toxicity-free food, and stop degradation and the poisoning of ecosystem, food as medicine. And then the only approach that is compatible with nutrient recycling, biodiversity, environmental protection, one world health is actually the back-to-nature way of farming. I believe, as the world knows about the importance of food and the energy-giving food, because a lot of people suffer low energy because of food they eat. Because there is this relationship between guts and the brain called gut-brain nexus, the enteric nervous system and the central nervous system, they are related. So food play a very important role in nurturing the health of a person. So now come back to food and the health. So the gut's health and our vitality is actually all related, because it is old saying say you are what you eat. It's very true. Because if you don't eat well, you skin on quality food, then your health will suffer. Either you pay to the farmer or you pay to the doctors. But I believe the farmer, the Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Health should be combined together to talk about the total health of the people. You see, if you just say, okay, we should have low cost food, that everybody should grow a huge quantity of food, but all the food bring diseases, chronic diseases, then you have to spend a lot of money on the health, on the hospital. You can spend little money on the food, it's okay. Now that is being served for society, but it's also the same for family and for individual. So I would encourage people to really select their food carefully, because the food, I believe, is the most important ingredient for living a healthy life. Because if your body is not healthy, you don't have the energy to do all the work. So your microbe in the stomach, which come from the ecosystem, has long already entered your body, the digestive system. Today, the biggest issue is chronic diseases all over the world. But most of these chronic diseases originate from food, related to food, habit of diet, what you eat, and also the kind of preservative, the kind of addition material the food company put in without you knowing. You see, there are some people crazy for potato chip, but they didn't know that when they make the potato chip, already something inside, either in the salt or what. So you have this called craze for certain potatoes, certain things. I think it's better to eat the natural food, right? Balanced diet. So you see, that is also a very clear relationship. between either the blue zone or the red zone. A blue zone is actually a healthy zone. There's an anti-inflammation balance, but red zone is always inflamed all the time. You see, if your body is inflamed all the time and your microbial community is very loose, in this type is a red, the body is sick, then you get chronic diseases because there's not enough guards, and there's not enough protection. There's not enough immunity. There's also not enough ammunition against attacker to your body system. Why? Because you see, you are too clean or never interact with the soil or the ecosystem, and you never encounter all these microbial elements. Now, I know there's a lot of people say, then are you very dirty that you can get sick very fast? I don't think so. I think if you live a life that's in collaboration with the ecosystem, and the ecosystem know you, and you also know the ecosystem. So you and the ecosystem are already balanced. So there's no stranger that you have not encountered before. So you are living in a very familiar environment. Now, do you know this story that in the ancient day, when the Chinese workers migrate from one part of China to another part, so they will always bring two things with them: a bottle of water from their well, a bottle of water from the well, and then a little lump of soil, they bring with them. And then when they go there, they put the lump of soil in their bedroom, So they make sure that they always have protection that come from the original place where they come from the soil. And that piece of water they will throw into the well, the new well that now they are going to drink the water from. So they hopefully the microbe from that well will infect the microbe in the new well. So that they say, 水土不合 means that water and the soil not compatible, so they get sick. So they already know the ecosystem and the protection is very important. So let's see, you see, our brain, of course, is the most important central processing unit, and we consume a lot of energy. But if our guts is not healthy, our brain naturally not healthy. So I also discovered that nature provides us with a very good source of neurodegeneration defense. That is natural honey. That is forest honey, wild honey. Because see, honey has a lot of energy, but it's not the normal sugar. It's a very polysaccharide, It is a really very good medicine. So, okay, so this is done. So now I just show, I show you what I put into practice on the farm and how I cultivate and what are the things I grow, right? So here is the thing that I do. So now the first thing, I start this farm 4 years ago. So I do a soil profiling. Now this farm has been disused for 25 years. So it becomes secondary forest. I didn't cut down the trees, I leave some of the forest covering so that the birds can come and sing it in the morning. So then I start planting some herbs on this and soil. Right? The first thing I found out that the soil is very depleted of organic matter. So I had to put this organic. So these are cow manure. No? So I put a lot of cow manure and I put other waste material and to do the decomposition. But soil manure alone is not enough. So you need to have a combination of carbon, nitrogen, and then you have the kind of compost. You see, a lot of people think that just compost is just compost. No, compost is very complex. The compost, you see, and the microbes has a name, So a lot of people think that EM, effective microbe, all microbes the same. No, every microbe has a name, has a function. So you have to get the right kind of composition and study the function of microbe. What can they do? It's just like playing basketball, right? I think if you can go and play high school basketball, no training. You can do shooter and all this. But if you play NBA, then you have to be selected to do this. But you see, there's enough microbe around the world that you can select and you can use and to do the job. So the question is now, I believe we are now entering the age that we are using biotechnology method of growing agriculture. You see, the agriculture is now become a real medicine, which I will share later on what it means and what I mean. So you see, if you do it properly, the microbes inside there really working hard. They will push the temperature to 7 degrees centigrade. And that means to say they are eating all the waste and decomposing it. So after this is true, there is absolutely no smell. And these microbes are safe. See, now they can see, stick it inside, you can see all this, you turn this around, and you can do this microbe. And then, of course, ready to use, right? So this is, and then also I put on my farm. So that is, I created quite a lot of this material that the whole range of inputs you can create, and it's inexpensive. Now, all the agriculture input should reduce the cost to reduce at least 20% or more, because you are no longer using petrochemical residue to do the ammonia, to do nitrogen. No. You are just doing the nutrient recycling, turning waste to food, you see. Now, to us it's waste. To the bacteria, to the microbes, is food, you know. So as long as we know how to make that conversion, then the soil is always active, you see. So we need to have active, fertile soil. So why do we say the soil is fertile? Because the soil is active. They are all working. All the living things are working. And another thing I found out to be fascinating is called how cells can divide very fast. The multiplication of a single bacterial cell. So can you imagine you are now inoculating the soil with living bacteria, and you provide the environment for the bacteria to grow and to work. Now, some of these bacteria, they multiply. One generation is only 20 minutes. 20 minutes, one generation. One day, 24 hours, is 2 to the power of 72. That's humongous. So they say they can help to decompose and make the environment very, very active and generate a lot of metabolites. So how can the soil not be fertile? The soil will be very fertile. Because you see, I experiment this myself, you can see. Now, of course, then you get UTM. I also go to all these universities to actually test the result. Not a passion science, this is actually solid science. Now, we have published quite a number of papers. So one thing that I study with University Udayana is to use our own microbe called Bacilli agri. And we use the Bacilli agri to grow pepper caninum, a kind of creeper, the disease. And we found out the phytochemical content of the pepper caninum has heightened to at least 30% higher with the biotechnology method of growing, because Bacilli agri can generate kind of metabolite to facilitate the uptake of the nutrient from the ground. And then, of course, all these nutrients train to phytochemical components. So these are the people that go over there to work together with me, professor. Now, these are my friends. Now, we also use this back-to-nature humus compost. We created this product and we use product. Now you can see the product. You see, nutrient analysis of this nitrogen, they are there, NPK and all the calcium, but not in large quantities. So you don't need to have too much residue, because they are there and use up and replenish, use and replenish, use, replenish. So there is no damage in the soil. So now, of course, we call Symbiotic, we do this. Now, we also create our own inputs to help the plant. So now, I shared all the herbs that I'm growing. So this is a farm. I will take the drone out. So one of the herbs that we do is called Dewa Mahkota. Now Dewa Mahkota, God's crown, and Indonesia eating this fruit has many benefits. One of the biggest benefits is high content of antioxidant. So and then it can overcome, it stimulate the growth of insulin by the beta cell of the pancreas organ. So you see, there are many benefits, and we are still studying this, and we are introducing this to the marketplace, right? You can, yeah, diabetic. These are medicines for diabetic. So you see, this also medicine for diabetic. This is Ulan Raja, and also grow very healthily in the natural soil. I can assure you, zero pesticide, zero fungicide. You can take directly from the tree and eat it. No need to wash because it's naturally clean. Now, there's durian also will recover. Old durian trees, which has no longer producing fruits, and we improve the soil condition, the durian fruits come out. So this is called anti-aging, because recovered, you see, the crops already too old to produce any food. It's not because of the crop. It's because there's no working workers in the ground to help the trees, to help the plant. So you put it back, the trees again come back, You see all the durians are good. And I ate these durian, they are very good. They're old durian trees. You see this nangka, right? We grow this nangka, you see, it's all very healthy, and papaya, and again, zero pesticide, zero fungicide. And then this banana, and you see the nutrient, the black one on the ground is all the compost I use and all the bacteria I use, and I don't use any chemical. And this is something that is very interesting. I found out. This is called curcumin cassia or black turmeric, and this is a superfood because it contains 41 active product ingredient, bioactive substances, and this is almost endangered species. So I use this new method to revive, to actually restore the endangered species already about to die and come back, and very large and very green. You see, and also ginger, I can grow in the polybag, because one of the reason I grow polybag is because I want to experiment about the soil media. So I want to have the different composition of soil media and see how the effect of natural compost, just natural compost and natural bacteria, and produce this ginger. And then this grow black ginger. This is from Thailand, also grow very well. And then this is the black turmeric that I told you. But this tree, very healthy, because if the soil is good, it can grow very good. Now, the benefit of this humongous, you have to diabetic, it control blood sugar, and it's also anti-cancer, and then it's anti-microbial, anti-bacteria, anti-aging, and then there are many good functions of this. So it's still under study. So this is how it grows healthily on the ground. And then this is my friend, Professor Hussein, who grow this using this method to grow the orchid plant, and this also grow curry leaf, huge curry leaf tree. Now this is a curcumin, look like the inside is blue color, purplish blue, and the crops is growing very well. And this is medicinal, definitely medicinal. And then they grow very well in this. And then of course this is I was talking to you about this Dewa Mahkota, and then cut into this bit and dry, and then you can use this as a medicine.
God's crown.
Yes. And then of course we do all this study of different method of growing, how is studied scientifically, and many plants, right? Many plants that we have grown. See all these different herbs and different plants. I think we can give many examples.
Very healthy.
Very healthy. So that is about what I have done on the farm. I share my experience. Now the latest is that so I'm extending the farm to another 20 acre. So welcome to visit and to work together. Thank you very much.
I hear, wow, fantastic. You know, we learned so much from you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I heard, oh, sorry, I'm muted.
Oh, I heard from William that you are in the process of acquiring 200 acres
Yeah.
to grow more of these.
So we are still talking to people. Of course, I'm the poor man, so I just try to do like they call spirituality meets science, right? Because I know that we have the scientific repeatable and all these things. So I think over time we can make a modest contribution to the quality of food by promoting the way that we grow things with the ecosystem balance so that people can have good health. Because without good health, you cannot have good life, good quality life. So to me, in whatever way that we can do will be in the positive line to help humanity uh, to be the best that they can be, you know.
Absolutely.
I believe so much in the wonderful work that you do, Dr. Ho.
Thank
I
you.
mean, we learned so much from you. It's so well explained. My goodness. I mean, it makes so much sense.
Thank you.
Yeah. This is so like, I mean, you are a university professor. Of course, you lectured very well.
No,
I
I
mean,
apologize.
you
Sometimes
use
I just get carried away.
no, please do not apologize. We learned so much from you. I mean, this is your way of teaching, and we are learning very fast from you this way. Gosh, I mean, you were giving examples of how, well, the terrorists are shooting down the factory workers. So they're not producing good work for the factory. So the factory has got to close down. I love that analogy. Thank you, Dr. Ho.
You're welcome.
Dr. Ho, so you were talking about the gut-brain nexus. You were saying that the gut is, well, William told me, sorry, William is our common friend who introduced Dr. Ho to us to speak today. He said that William is advisor to our prime ministers, right? He's very well read, very knowledgeable. He said the gut is just as important as the brain. So if you're not feeding the gut well, then you said that brain deteriorates as well. So they work together very well, hand in hand, right?
You see, that is a whole study
Mhm.
about medicine, right? Now, in the past, it's called medicine one, medicine two, and medicine three. Now we are approaching medicine three. Medicine one is the old way of practice medicine before the germ theory and all those things, right? You know, that just like then medicine two is what we have done even up to now. One disease, one cure, one disease, one cure, one to one, right? Now, medicine three is about proactive, the immune and prevention, you know. So the new thing should be before your diseases, you have to prevent. You can know the signs are there. So like your eating habit, I mean the kind of thing that you eat will cause what kind of chronic illnesses, you know. Because I think oxidative stress, you know, right? Because if you eat a lot of processed food, and then it causes this metabolism dysfunction, right? And you cause the aging of your mitochondria, your cellular health. If you compromise cellular health, eventually it lead to many related issues because we are make out the unitary independent cells. So this is related to communication. So when the signal not received properly and signal not transmit properly from the cell, then our body got function, got problem. So what a lot of people suffer is leaky guts, you know. Because you see the junction in the cell in our lining all got damaged, because then either too stressed or not enough right kind of diet, and then it start your microbes in the gut enter into the bloodstream, so you cause infection. A lot of things. Yeah. Yeah.
To my guts.
Yeah. Thank you so very much for the time. Yes.
Crystal, you're muted.
Oh, I'm muted. I said that was exactly what happened to me. So I'm guilty of being unkind to my guts. Yeah, and so many of our viewers, I'm sure. And thanks, Dr. Ho, for explaining how the system works. And well, as you said, back to nature. That's the way it should be, and that ought to be what we're going to be practicing for the future. Yeah,
Thank you.
to have a better health.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
you so much.
Dr. Ho.
Thank
So
you.
I want to pass the microphone over to
Sure.
our co-chair, Dr. Fresfrezel. Dr. Fresfrezel, would you are you ready?
I would love to join in today. I would love to join in.
Sure.
Doctor, if you would stop share for a moment.
Okay, sure. I think okay, stop. Yeah.
No, hang on a minute. If
Okay,
you want to share some pictures, you go ahead and show us very quickly, and
Yeah,
then
I
you
already
can already did it. Yeah,
I
thank
already
you.
stopped, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Gonna
Doctor,
Yes.
this is a student coming back to you saying thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, this is about 5 years ago, I received your information.
Yes.
And we put in a test garden here at my house.
Yes.
We use the worst soil possible. It's just clay.
Yes.
Nothing but weeds growing, hard, no organics. The top good already taken away.
Yes.
We had two of us put the garden together and did everything that you suggested.
Yes.
Our crops are 20% better
Yes.
in production of what they're producing.
Yes.
They have better flavor.
Yes.
But there's a side effect that we had no anticipation from what we did. The deer in our area come to our land and they eat all the way around. We had to put up big fences to keep them away from our food.
Yes.
As a result, the deer herd is now, instead of 5 or 6 wild deer in the area, 14 to 18.
Congratulations.
It gets worse. They are round.
Yeah.
They are fat.
Yeah.
They don't die in the wintertime too cold.
Yes.
They come and watch us work.
Yes.
Now, the other thing that happened, so we have too many deer. Another strange thing happened because we collected the microbes from a higher elevation.
Yes.
And brought them down to, and we're only talking about 20 feet in elevation difference. But we got it from the wild forest, the soil.
Yes.
And we grew our mycelium, and then we inoculated both the ground and the compost piles with this.
Yes.
Side effect. We had a few mushrooms that we collected, 1 or 2 different varieties.
Yes.
We have 5 or 6 that we have never seen before that are delicacy mushrooms growing. They just pop up.
Oh, yes.
The ground that we inoculated has spread out to the forests and the surrounding stuff. And we have In the areas where we don't, we have more weeds growing now than we ever had before. No fertilizer, but the deer are helping so that there's more of these plants. So those are the side effects, but the benefit is there. The medicine that we're growing is done the same way.
Yes.
In the past, it would be very, very expensive for all the chemicals specific to those medicine plants to keep them growing because they don't like to grow here. They have to be specially grown in the greenhouse and pampered.
Yes.
The quality of that medicine is so much greater because you can get the same medicine grown from different people in the area. Nothing like it. The world's a difference.
Yes.
You're dealing with a person that's been, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer 7 years ago.
Oh.
No medicine from the pharmaceutical, just what we've been taking in.
Yes.
My doctors don't understand why I'm not dead.
Oh, you see, you got a lot of help, my friend. You got a lot of help from the invisible light.
Yes. And when we go to the next one, which we look at the fermented vegetables for the gut, Southeast Asia, you have kimchi. Here we have sauerkraut. We have sauerkraut. That's just the beginning of all the good stuff. With the things that you grow, you can you then ferment those as complex fermented vegetables.
Exactly.
And do that in the season. And now you're getting the best of the best of the best for your gut.
Yeah.
My stomach, 45 years ago, I ended up having surgery.
Oh.
And I've heard ever since. You know, they say that for what I had, that they would come back and cut every 5 years.
Oh my God.
Have not done it in 45 years, 50 years now.
Congratulations.
And it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. And I would say a lot of this is from your material.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
This is a student coming back.
Friends, we should help a lot more people because I think this thing works, you know. It's only the different interest, money interest group, preventing all these things from getting out.
What's really, we're having it. This is, thank you, Crystal. And this is compadres coming back and forth and confirmation. It's like, thank you. Go ahead, Crystal.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I just want to share screen so you can contact Dr. Ho directly. I just want to share screen so that you can see his Facebook. Okay. This is his Facebook. All right. So when you get to his Facebook, Back to Nature.
You see, you are all invited to come and visit me in the Putrajaya. So we will eat whatever is available on the farm, and we can stay on the farm.
Oh, that'd be so nice, won't it? Okay, are you seeing my shared screen on Zoom?
Yes, we are.
Are you seeing? Yeah, okay. So are you able to listen to my voice? Because I've put the volume down, it's interfering with the other device that Dr. Ho is using. Okay, so you can contact Dr. Ho. All right. Do you have your email address there?
I have email address.
In the Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That back to nature enterprise at gmail.com. Okay. So you can interact with Dr. Ho directly. There you go. Okay, so I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, I enjoyed teaching, enjoyed demonstrating. I enjoyed meeting people who share the same experience or exchange ideas, and basically restoring the eco health and also human health.
Dr. Ho, I will have to request that you shut down your laptop so that it doesn't interfere with the audio here. Yeah.
Okay.
Because the recording's on, because I need you to come over here to my table and you can then show us the produce that you brought for me. Thank you for giving me such wonderful, awesome gifts that I wanted Dr. Ho to show you guys.
This one is the fruits that I grow. So this is for Crystal. This is called apple custard. It's very good to heal her stomach because it's a very nutritious food. This is for her. And this one is honey that I collected from the forest, Malaysia rainforest called Tualang honey.
Put it closer to the camera.
You can see
and hold it.
This Tualang honey, nature's superfood.
Superfood.
Because this that is the Malaysia rainforest is unlike other jungle. This bee is called Apis dorsata. They actually came from Himalaya. They migrated down into the forest. So they make their hive in the very tall tualang tree. So each of the bee is almost 20, it's bigger than, it's a giant Asian bee. So it has 180 bioactive substances. So this is the best natural honey that is preventing neurodegeneration, nerve cell.
It's going to lengthen the telomeres.
Yeah, telomere. Yeah, lengthen the telomere.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. Now what I have done is I grew this ginger. I told you. Wow. This, but you can see because the lighting is not so good. It's dark. But this is very big. So this one you make called ginger shot. Ginger shot consists of 3 material. That is lemon here, as you know, again grow naturally, and you cut a piece of ginger, pounce it, and squeeze the juice out, and then you put 1 teaspoon of ginger, and together with this is ginger. Ginger is yellow in color, but you see, when you grow naturally, the ginger is not very fat. Maybe thinner, but it's very good quality because there's nothing. You can see like this, the ginger, right?
Yeah.
The ginger is very like this. This is ginger. Yeah, you can see the roots, and this is the lemon. Yeah, lemon.
Yeah.
This is lemon grown organically. So this one and this one and the tualang honey, then your leaky gut should be healed. Yeah, so this is I brought this thing for Twitter. So I have grown a lot of herbs, and then to help the people. So this is but we can keep a longer time.
Oh, thank you.
Right? But these are the.
This is Nina.
Yeah.
Dr. Ho's niece, and she's been with him for the project, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
So if you have any question, please speak up. You can hear me clearly, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't have any question, but it's so heartwarming to hear all this. I'm so thankful. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
What about you? What about Jerry? Gary, you love plant food. You love the plant.
I love everything about eating healthy things from nature and no chemicals and no sugar.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Very good.
So
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Gosh, Dr. Ho gave me so much. Look at that.
Because if you plant it correctly, you see 1 ginger plant, you should collect about 1.5 kilo.
That's a lot.
So you see how the soil, how rich the soil can be. You see? And this is no chemical, 0 chemical.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we were surprised what the yields were with this method.
Yes.
And the cost is nominal. It's very low.
Yeah.
So, the question comes in is, have we been working with in your perimeter areas? Is there a way of working to diminish the weed species that are taking over? Because they're doing extremely well.
You see, if you in my experiment, because you can actually in Malaysia, I think it's easier to prevent weed from growing, and it is made of plastic cover. The water can go down from the plastic sheet, but grass cannot come out with it. So if you have area that you want to, but you know, if you cover the ground, it depends on how you plant it. Because if you plant the crop on the ground, and then the sun hit the plastic sheet, it's warm up the soil, you know. So it's kill the microbe. So it's not good. But grass itself is not bad, freeze. The grass is also retain the water. The grass roots retain the water. So if you don't mind the deer to come eat the grass a little bit, or you can harvest the deer, can you harvest the deer for food?
We have a problem with with an invasive species of weed, which is English ivy, and it has really taken over the forest in the boundary just beyond where our fields are that we're working with. The ivy has gone nuts. The deer are eating a little of it, but they're not eating enough.
Not enough. Huh? So wheat is always troublesome, you know. Everywhere is in the case of Malaysia, because I grow some of things in poly bag to do experiment, but on the field, you see, I grew the plant, the herbs, they cover up with a canopy, so the sun is not shining directly. So the wheat will begin to diminish because the sun does not hit. There's not enough sunlight for the wheat to grow. So
yes,
I think you can do multi-tier kind of growing.
In the first raised gardens that we started, because we needed to have a lot of food production right away.
Yes.
The raised beds gave us the heat because we're cold in this part of the country. Our soil isn't really warm like we would like it to be for growing food crops. So we raised beds and we planted dense, and that way we didn't have weeds in it, and they grew extremely well. That was not a problem. Yes. When we moved to the experimental bed, which was standard field style growing of food, then we had the good plants that we wanted for food plus the weed species that were in some of the compost that didn't quite get hot enough. Okay. So that's taken a little bit of time to get that going, but the soil was so poor in the beginning that the weeds like to be there. As the process goes further and the nitrogen fixing bacteria kick in, a lot of these weeds can't handle that new soil and they don't grow. So it's a process, because we started with really, really bad soil. Really, we picked the worst we could find as a test.
Metis Bro, you have a question. Sorry.
No problem.
He has his hand up for a while now. Go ahead, unmute yourself.
I get this this stuff. It's a kind of a powder. I get this from Turkey, from the honey farm.
Yes.
The bees, they are making food for themselves. And it is called pollen in Turkey.
Pollen.
And they say there is a lot of benefit of it. What do you take on this one? Can I ask you this question?
You see, the bee pollen is very, very good. You know, it's called it's an anti infection also, because they have this when they build a filter, right? Filter. So when the bee return to the hive, they will take off the brush will take off some of the pollen carried by the bee, and they collect it. You know, So there's a bee colony they're collecting. Right? So if you put that one with the propolis is sticky thing that bee use to cement any holes on their hive, like putting the thing together. So usually in the natural hive, you have a bee pollen and bee propolis, and they are very powerful called, food to boost your immunology, called immunoregulatory function. Very good. Very good. Very good product.
Propolis.
I know it is not so right thing to do. That's the right thing to do. Collect the food for the bee food because this is their food.
But it has very good B complex, vitamin B complex, that B6, B12, like the apricot seed, sometimes apricot seed have those B complex that will help your anti-aging and all the kind of, again, shortening of the telomere and genetic function. Longevity, you can live a long time.
So I take it every morning with the hot water in 1 teaspoon. Is it the right dosage?
Yeah. Enough. 1 teaspoon enough.
Okay.
Because it's very potent substance.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Thank you for the questions.
you.
Anybody else before we close this meeting?
Yeah.
Is there any other questions? Gary, you have something to ask Professor Dr. Ho?
No.
No.
Most people gone to bed.
Muted. No, they're shy. Richard, you are Dr. Ho's guest.
Richard, I know.
I don't have any direct questions, but it's really interesting to hear
Come
this.
and visit me, Richard.
And I cannot wait to come and visit.
I can't make it, sir, but
visit,
I can't make
visit
it
the
this
farm.
year.
I've written down visit the farm.
Next year.
Yeah.
So I think it's a fascinating thing that you've done there. I just a slight, very quick. I started with very little knowledge of farming recently, and I went down a sort of the opposite approach of I build a greenhouse and I try and keep it as sterile as possible because that was what I thought I should do. And I don't use any chemicals. I just use organic. But at the same time, one insect gets in and then it's a nightmare to deal with. And it just doesn't, it is that the fruit is healthy and tastes good, but it doesn't feel quite right.
Yeah.
And I would love to be able to grow outdoors with confidence.
Yeah.
When I was looking at my farm, I wanted to do chili for a while, and I went to 3 or 4 chili farms, and every single one said, "Oh, we lose 1 crop in every 3, and when it gets lost, it's completely wiped out by pests."
Yeah.
And so it just put the fear into me to go down that route. And it's fantastic to hear that there is another approach, and it makes complete sense. And then what you put into the soil is what goes into the plant, which is what goes into the fruit or vegetable, which goes into you, is just a lovely story. So I'm really keen to come and visit.
Please come, Richard.
Thank you.
Dr. Ho, you really shared very enlightening information and knowledge with us.
Yes.
We really appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. What about you, Mr. Liu? Mr. Liu, you have anything to add to this conversation?
Miss Liu, I think she's still there or no?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, still here. Good.
Okay. I think I
Miss
visited.
Liu, I'm sorry, Miss Liu.
Yeah, actually, I visited the farm, and
Yeah.
it's quite amazing, I would say. I mean, looking at the fruits that he's growing over there, I think you should all come and visit.
Come.
It's so healthy looking. Wow. Fantastic. It makes a lot of sense.
But I think what Richard says is true, because you see, you have to make a compact with nature, right? Because when I started this journey, you see, I studied statistics, you know. You see, only two things. Nature is your friend or nature is your foe? Yeah, you have to ask this question. Is nature your friend or is nature your enemy? Because if nature is our enemy, I think we are done with. There's no way that we can live.
Exactly.
Because you see, you have to have a faith that nature allow us to live, you know. So of course, nature is very tolerant of the mistake that we make, but we should also be tolerant of some of the insect. They bite a little bit of the leaf for their food, you know, or sometimes they bite the fruits a little bit, but not the kind of infestation that people say every fruit is gone to the insect and this. But there are certain insect or certain fruits whose skin is very thin that you have to protect. Like the I know this called star fruits in Malaysia. It's very thin skin star fruit. And then you have and then guava. If you really plant guava, then you have to really cover it because it's one sting, and then they lay the eggs inside the flesh, and then the larva will burrow the hole into the heart of the guava fruit. Is all gone. So it's a constant struggle, but also the biodiversity does help in the sense that if you grow one kind of crop only, then they all target everyone will be gone. But if you have more diversified environment, then they may not like just to eat guava alone. They may eat other crops. And the predator, they are also natural predator. No? They can kill each other.
Exactly. You're saying that
Yeah.
they are enemies as well.
Yeah,
Apart from being friends with some other
Yeah.
types. Yeah. So you were saying this restoring the natural balance, natural fertility,
biodiversity,
biodiversity,
Balance.
ecological balance, and diversity.
Yeah.
It's superb. I mean, we learn new things all the time with fantastic speakers like yourself coming into our platform to show us the way. Right. So, if there's no other questions or
I got a question.
anybody, sure. Oh, go on then, Scott. Yes.
Although I missed most of this, I had to go out. I just got back from it, but I heard the other person ask about a problem. I'm growing weed here. I got one. Well, I have two weed plants. One's in the bathroom, one's here, mostly from the window light, and then a couple of other lights. And it got infested with spider mites. It was a while ago. You see little tiny webs like on the plants, on the leaves, and it's pretty big. It's about 4 feet tall. It's just in a pot in my room. So I don't know if you know about this, but the other guy was asking, have you ever heard of, usually weed doesn't need any kind of poison because it's self taking care of itself kind of. So do you have any? I've been spraying Epsom salt on it, which kind of works with water, kind of works if you do it often enough. And then after 4 days, they come back. And then I did diatomaceous earth, sprinkled it on there while it was wet. And that really got rid of them, but it also damaged the plant and the leaves all fell off that had them over. So now, a year later, I'm still reluctant to plant better stuff and upgrade my operation till I eliminate this. Any input you can give me on the spider mites, all I know so far is the Epsom salt spraying on it helps, and the diatomaceous earth seems to close the pores of the leaves and they all die. So if you can give any input, that would be very helpful.
Some of them use sodium bicarbonate also, you know?
Oh.
Baking soda.
Yeah, I've got plenty.
because you see we sometimes is not easy. You have to experiment with some of the plant. I'm not familiar with the plant that you're growing.
Scott.
Oh, it's weed, marijuana.
Oh, marijuana. Oh, yeah, marijuana.
It's legal now to grow it.
Marijuana is like that. So marijuana, you want to call the spider mite, right?
Yeah, well, somebody else told me it was something else, and then somebody confirmed it's spider mites. And yeah, they do have webs, and they're tiny. They're absolutely
they're very
so
tiny.
small.
You see, if you can find some neem, N-E-E-N, neem.
Yeah,
neem
I've heard of
oil.
that. I've heard of that. And I have some Bob's red mill baking soda. I can put that in water and spray it on there too. Is that what you said?
Yes, yeah. Because
try
I think the spider mite is a very nasty insect, you know.
Yeah, they come back in about 4 days, I notice. If you leave it alone and don't do something, they'll be right back. And this time I notice it's really choking it because now it's ready to start budding.
Because you see, one of the effects is that they are also a lover of marijuana, you must understand. They also enjoy the smell, you see, the smell of the marijuana flowers, you know.
Who doesn't?
Oh gosh. Anyway, Scott, I've got to go to Karen now. Hey,
Thank you.
Karen, you said it is up your tree. That's why you want to join us in this meeting. Surely you would like to participate with the conversation with Dr. Ho.
Yeah,
Oh,
Karen.
I find it very interesting.
Yeah.
I appreciate your very informative long talk about symbiotic relationships and inoculating the soil. I'm going to give that a try.
Yes. The soil is a miracle, no?
Karen is our FESIG transcriber.
Yes.
Yeah, and she's so brave. She's been in and out of hospital.
Oh, Karen, God bless you.
Too stubborn to die.
Yes.
Oh, you're so brave and you're so tough. Anyway, so we learn a lot from Dr. Ho. We're all going to be healthier. Okay.
Yes.
Just follow his tips and knowledge that he has imparted to us. Anyway, so Press, are we going to wrap up or do you have any last say?
The only thing that maybe we want to talk about real quick is artificial sugar in people's diets, the corn syrup and stuff. And what does that do with the worm population, which is internal parasites, and what we do in the soil augmentation for the nematodes and these worms. And with that, I'll back out.
You see this artificial thing, sugar and sweetener, all this thing. I think, you see, to me, if it is natural, so I do not know how they cause the formulation of this sweetness and all this, right?
Yeah.
But complex chemical. My guess is this: is anything that's natural, the natural elements can break it down, and then return back to the fundamental unit and reuse again. That's called restructuring or recycling, right? Everything in life is recycling and then reconstituting and decomposition, reconstitute and decompose. So when you enter a certain, especially under the chemical bond, they force the bond with a very high heat or high force or pressure, then the bond that formed chemically is not easy to disentangle. So that is the thing that I have this hypothesis that what nature cannot do, then it will cause problem because you see, like they enter and they accumulate, called bioaccumulation in your liver, in your kidney, because they have no knowledge and which is not part of the study book. They have never encountered such molecules as this, and then they try their best to break down, cannot break down. So then they just accumulate. After a while, I think either the degradation of the function, organic function that is placed, or it becomes real problem. Because you see, the natural order of things is that everything is recyclable. But like you encounter certain things, oi, what do we do with this? And then what do we do with this is actually the source of problem. Now we also don't know what to do with it, and nature doesn't want to do with it, and they will throw to each other. Who is it? You are the source. Human being is the source of creating this So you better take it back. It accumulates the human body, you know. It doesn't belong here because you see, sometimes we are at a different level, at a spiritual level, we will understand. We reap what we sow, you know. So we now sow this artificial constituted material, which tastes good, but actually we don't know what it is. why it tastes so good? Why it cannot be broken down?
Yeah.
Because like glucose, when you eat it, you can break
yeah.
down. You know, polysaccharide, you eat it, break down. And now this artificial sweetener. So nature say, you take it back. You know, you try to do with it. Please don't count on me. You know? Don't. I don't know what to do with it. You guys, you started it, so you deal with it. You know. So this is, I think we have to know what limit that we encounter because sometimes our ingenuity play ahead of our ability to solve the issue. You know. So that is my hypothesis. So I'm very careful in terms of if nature doesn't choose it and nature reject it, I think we better be smarter enough. We don't do that.
You took the lead. Great. Thank you. We feed our worm colonies a little bit of brown sugar and water, and it makes them more active to make more baby worms. And so the worm goes for the natural sugars. It'll be either in your apple or in the roots where the sugars are stored. When the plant dies or they see that they need the sugar, they go in. When we put that much sugar into our gut, we have similar worms that go, oh, we like this, and they get and the leaky gut gets worse because of this thing, and we're just feeding the wrong critter.
It's true. It's true. That the bureau through the mucus level and they start doing wonders, you know.
So it is true. If there's no sugar, there's no cancer.
Sugar is actually cancer causing, you know.
Right. Okay, so there being no other questions, now this meeting is adjourned to the next one. The 133rd FESIG meeting is now adjourned to the 134th meeting on the 5th of March. And folks, please bear in mind the next meeting in March will be reverting back to the same time that we used to do. That will be 6:30 p.m. London time, UK time. I can't remember. Is it 10:30 a.m. Your time, Chris?
Yes, it is.
The old timing, yeah. And
Pacific Northwest. Yeah, Pacific time.
Yeah, CET. I mean, where you are in Sweden will be 7:30 p.m. and what else? East Coast. Yeah, East Coast will be 1 p.m., isn't it? No, 2 p.m. 2:30 p.m. Yeah, US. Okay, folks, that's it. You can stop recording now. Let's us all thank Dr. Ho.
Thank you.
You can stop recording now. It's adjourned.